Well, welcome everyone to Salon Summer School with Simply Organic Beauty. We are super excited for week 2, and it's going to be, once again, Ashley and I here to help train you. She's going to cover all this really great technical information. I'm going to jump in as a stylist and a salon owner here as well. So hopefully we can clarify some of these wonderful opportunities for you today for rankings and reviews. So this is week 2 of the class for our summer school. And, here at Simply Organic Beauty, we just have the main master plan of the Salon Summer School to help take you guys to the next level, elevating and changing your salon business for the better. It's what our focus and our mission is here as a distribution for healthier beauty products and Simply Organic Beauty. So, we plan to help pioneer you through some of these opportunities that will help you to. We did website and review last week, and then this week we're going to cover rankings and reviews. So what that means to you, because we're not just here to offer products, but we really want to help grow your business, because if you're growing and changing, we are too. And so by offering education and valued support, that's what here at Simply Organic Beauty we're really about. So it's a different type of business. So we're here to help you. So I'm going to introduce Ashley here. My name's Rebecca, and hopefully you'll have some questions for us, and we'll see you in the chat bar as well.
Hello, everyone. Again, I'm Ashley. I'm the marketing director here at Simply Organic Beauty. And I'm just going to super quickly, for the people that are new and weren't on last week, I'm going to review our master plan. And if you remember, that was basically 4 fundamental ways that we're going to grow your business over these next 6 weeks now. And the first one is to increase your number of clients. A lot of what we're teaching is going to help you attract new clients this week in particular. So you saw in week 1, we did website design. So that was super important for getting new clients, but this is probably going to be one of the best ways to get new clients to your door other than social media, of course. So we're on week 2. And then I'm just going to look ahead for a second just to show our newbies what's in store. So again, week 3, which is next week, is going to be social media. And then we're going to be focusing on how we can increase our average transactions. So this is going to be boosting client values and how you can increase your ticket and upsell into retail and other service sales. And that's going to be on week 6. So make sure you stay tuned. And then the third way to grow your business is through increasing your purchase frequency. So how do we incentivize repeat purchases? I'm sure as we're in the middle of summer right now, we're wondering how we could have gotten some of those clients back into the salon this season. And we'll be covering that week 4 and week 3. Social media will touch on some of that, but really get into the heart of it during client love and loyalty. So stay tuned. And then the fourth way, again, final reminder, is to increase your business efficiency, working smarter, not harder. And that's towards the end of our program, hiring and training, and Salon Suite Week, which again is really for anyone because we're talking about tax write-offs and other fun business optimization things that increases profit and efficiency. So, but let's jump right into week 2, rankings and reviews, okay? So this is going to be all about mastering Google in your salon's online reputation. There's me giving Rebecca an awesome review. Look how happy she is. So when I say ranking, what I really mean is search engine ranking. So let's review what that is and why it matters. So I'm going to start out very basic here. So all you tech savvy people can just nod through it all, but it's all going to build on top of each other. So pay attention, okay? So the most common search engines, Google, Bing, and Yahoo. Google being the majority there at 63.4% of all US web traffic. And when it comes to mobile, it's actually 94%. So a lot of what we're doing today is going to be all about the Googs because they just own it, okay? So search engine rankings, what are they exactly? It's the position at which a particular website appears when you put a search into Google, okay? So I'm going to show you really quick. I'm sure most of you know what a search ranking is, but I just want to show you something fun. So if I type in Tampa Salons, you're going to see here a couple results. So with local search, they have done something quite special, which is called a local pack. This is this Google card that you see right here, okay? And I'm gonna teach you how you get your salon listed here, and you can see how important it is because it's the first thing that pops up, okay? This square is called a local pack. And then under here are your actual returned results. So as you can see, Yelp dominates a lot of these searches. And then moving on. So I just wanted to really quick show you what we're trying to optimize here. And that is your search results. Okay. All right, so as we just saw, it's all about location, location, location. I want you to look at your search engine results as real estate. Do you want to be the first salon anyone sees or the last? So right here, I searched Salon Atlanta, and it shows you, again, Yelp is still the first search result, but it shows you who's owning those first spots in Atlanta. And that coveted #1 spot, again, that's like being the first salon anyone sees on the block. And it's important because you want customer visibility. If they can't find you, then they don't know you exist. Because 94% of people that are searching on Google don't go beyond the first page. So if you're not making it on that first page there in that local pack or in those results, then you're probably missing out on a lot of business. But don't worry, if you're not there now, you will be, or at least be on the path to be by the end of this webinar. So now that I told you how important it is, I'm sure all of you like, that's great, Ashley. Now, can you just tell me how I get up there? No problem. So how we do it and how we get rankings high in Google is through, this is a little bit of technical jargon, but search engine optimization, or SEO. I'm sure some of you have heard of that term, but that is the way in which, or the process, I should say, that how we get to that top ranking spot in Google. And it's a whole process and protocol, and it's a multi-pronged approach. So it's not just one thing that you do that's SEO. It's a holistic approach, for lack of a better term. So what we're focusing on today is really local SEO, because you guys are local businesses and your strategy is going to differ a little bit than, let's say, I don't know, Simply Organic, right? Because we service North America. So we're not necessarily trying to find people in our backyard. I mean, they do find us. Thank God. We love our people here in Palm Harbor and Tampa. But local SEO is focused on providing results that are relevant to a searcher based on their current location. And as you saw with that local pack at the top, it's become highly mobile focused. So I see I had a couple questions. No, okay, nothing about the current topics. So we'll move right along here. So let's look at the ranking factors and how they influence local SEO. So these are the main things that influence your salon's search ranking. And I know it looks like a bunch of words on a screen right now, and you may see a couple of ones that you recognize. But don't worry, this is just the outline. By the end of it, you're going to be pros, okay? So I would read them off to you, but I'll just do it. My Business Signals is all about Google, and it's called Google My Business, is the whole thing we're going to be setting up today. Citation signals, link signals, on-page behavior, and review signals. And everyone can feel pretty confident reviews are exactly what you think they are. So moving on into the Google My Business signals. So like I said before, Google pretty much dominates all search traffic. So I always say you want to optimize for Google first. And that's going to be setting up your business through Google My Business. And I'm going to show you pretty quickly how we're going to do that in a second. So again, it's important because it's the most used search engine in the world, especially all that mobile traffic. And if you don't verify your business or your site within Google, you don't rank at all, pretty much. And it's simple, it's free, and it ensures your business is visible to most of your potential customers. So it's extremely important. So step 1 here, you're going to create a Google My Business account. The URL is right on the screen there, but I'm going to show you. If I can pull my screen over. All right. My computer doesn't want to show you. I'm sorry. There we are. So we are at google.com/mybusiness. Super easy. Just hit start now. And you basically are going to go in, register your business. And I'm going to emphasize this here. You have to be very accurate, very, very accurate. The two categories most of you are going to choose from is hair salon or beauty salon. I did all my research to say which one was going to be the best for all of us, but I really couldn't find data either way. I guess if you offer more than just hair, the beauty salon would probably be a good category. And choosing the correct category is going to be really important for when people are trying to search organic salon near me or salon near me. So please don't underestimate how important that category is. So if I had a salon business right now to set up, I would show you how to do it all, but it's very, very straightforward. Google really walks you through it. So I'm going to show you what that would have looked like. All right. So this would be when you're trying to set everything up. Again, name, address, and phone number. Make sure it's all consistent across all of your registers. So you're going to hear me talk about something a lot today called NAP. And all that stands for is name, address, phone number. Nothing special, but I keep preaching consistency because it's going to matter more as we move forward in today's course. So it may seem a little repetitive, but I promise there's a method to my madness. Okay. So after you go in and register your business with My Business, then you're going to want to verify it. This is actually how you show up in Google, and that's why I have an important. If you neglect to go forward 20 slides, oh guys, I'm showing you all the good stuff. All right, you're going to be verifying your business either by phone or by mail. So once you do that, you're going to have this little verification code and you'll be good to go. I promise, super simple. Voila. When it's all said and done, you'll even see your business on the right column, like you see ours here, Simply Organic. It's very interesting because you can hit website, you can even call us from this little thing, see all of our reviews, even from Facebook. So once you're set up and verified through Google, you'll show up in this little Google card just like that. All right. So the second signal that is going to influence your salon's ranking is called local citation signals. So local citations, it sounds super complex. It's not at all. Wait till we go through it. You'll just be like, why couldn't you just say Yelp? So local citation, it's a mention of your business anywhere across the web, especially business directories. And when I say a mention of your business, I mean NAP, okay? Name, address, phone number, sometimes website address. So let's just review why local citations are important. Well, they show Google verification and trust. So it basically verifies that your business is legit and it exists to Google the more times you're mentioned. So Google, the way they do local search rankings, they really focus on three things, which is prominence, which is basically how popular your business is, relevance, which is based by what people are searching, and distance. So again, I told you local SEO has to do with where you're searching from a lot of the times. So when it comes to your local business, these things are going to be key. So, but this is why local citations matter. They matter a lot when it comes to prominence. And I'm going to there's only two types of local citations, so we're going to run through those. They're called structured and unstructured citations. So structured is when you're submitting your business to directories like Yelp, Facebook, Yellow Pages, superpages.com. I told you were going to say, Ashley, why didn't you just say Yelp? But there is a difference. And unstructured is when you are mentioned not in a directory, but maybe a blog or a local newspaper or site. You don't even need a link actually to your website. As long as the address is there, Google actually reads it and it still makes a difference and helps ramp up your prominence. So I wouldn't bother trying to read all of this right now, but I am going to send you this resource later. This is the top 50 general US citation sources. So number one, of course, being Google My Business, and then Bing Places, Apple Maps. These are all the most common places that businesses are going to list their own addresses, phone numbers, and names. But I did something really nice for you guys. I did the top citations for beauty salons. So you know the top 10 places to focus on when submitting your business information. And again, the more places you are that are reputable, the more Google's going to give you love on the search engine side. So you may notice a little bit of a difference between the beauty salons on the left and the day spas on the right. So I wonder why that is, Rebecca.
Well, there's a lot of good information here, and especially in that last slide, if everyone would go ahead, and it should be in the form of a handout after 24 hours. We'll have this up for you to review. But I would certainly print that out, that list out, and go one by one through it. However, on the right side, one idea I had was any of the salons or spas that are near hotels. Make sure that you hook up with the concierge there, and then go into the tripadvisor.com and make sure you're listed. Get your citations in there for your beauty salon and spa, especially if you are an extreme specialist at, let's say, bridal parties, anything like that. And TripAdvisor, having it on there, having it on Expedia.com, Spa Finder, all of these things that Ashley's put together in a list for you is going to really help you to attract those people that are even just coming into town and doing big bridal parties, or coming in and they may be considering to moving into your local area. So, connecting with the concierge there and making sure you're on these citation sources for your salons and spas. This is a great list she put together for you.
Yeah, absolutely. So I just wanted to bring it to your attention that the spa market, you guys have a little bit of a list to work with here. So I just didn't want you to miss out on that. So the third one I want you to check out is your own local business directories. Remember, this is all focused towards local businesses. So how do you find these local business directories? I would put into Google something along the lines of, well, obviously not everyone's in Tampa, but Downtown Tampa Business Directory. I wanted to show you something real quick, but as you can see, every time I try to show you something in my web browser, I have to click a million things out. But just trust me, Google, if it's downtown Atlanta business directories, you can find all different places to submit your business locally. And again, submitting it locally, Google's going to love that and showing your prominence in that area. So just a really, really quick tip though about citations. And I was saying this from the get-go, make sure they stay consistent, because if, let's say you have an address change or a phone number change, the minute you start sending Google and all these databases information that's not symmetrical, then it actually dings your rankings, because Google doesn't know which is right or where to send people. So once you start submitting your business to all these directories, structured citation areas, I would keep a spreadsheet, or if you're not a spreadsheet person, most of us, a piece of paper of where you submitted your business. So if you ever do have a change, a location, a phone number, you can go back in and make those changes and not get punished for it by Google. So that's just a tip to keep your citations consistent across all the directories that you submit them to. So I think we're on our third signals that influence your salon's ranking, and these are called link signals, or the marketing jargon, ignore me if you will, is off-page SEO. So what is link building? It is the practice of getting external pages, so other websites, to link to a page on your website or just your home page. It's super simple, but it's very important. And it's very important because it's critical to how search engines and Google works and how their whole indexing structure is created. So it's how it discovers new web pages, helps determine how well a page should be ranked in the results based by how many links there are going to it. And this is really what kind of how Google made a name for itself in the 90s. It was just like kind of a revolutionary way to structure the internet all through links. And it's still one of the major ranking factors today. It's the number one way that you're going to get those links, those local search results that were right under that local pack that I showed you earlier. And it's the second way that you'll be up on that local pack after Google My Business. So it's very, very important. I would say second important after setting up your Google business. So there's three things that really make a difference in the link factor and how high you're going to rank in Google. The first is the quantity, the number of links. Remember, prominence, popularity. If Google sees that your business is popular, that's going to influence your rankings for the better. However, I will say this. SEO itself is almost an industry, and for a while there, people started trying to game the Google ranking system. And I wouldn't worry so much about the quantity if they're not good quality. So there was people buying links to their website that were not relevant to their site. So it's like refrigerators and more, but it goes to Rebecca's salon. Google actually knows that. It's smart enough to realize that that's not a relevant backlink. And it actually could punish Rebecca if she were to buy links from refrigerators and more. So again, that stresses on quality. So the authority of your links. So sites that get a lot of traffic, let's say you get a mention from the Huffington Post or any other really major news site. Those are websites of authority, and Google really favors the sites that they link to. Now, because we are local businesses, not most of us are going to get Huffington Post links or anything like that, but we should be striving to get links that are of local importance. So your local business bureau or your local newspaper, like any local links that can tell Google that you are a big thing in your area is important. The third is anchor text. Okay, so I'm hoping this is the most technical that will get today, but I just want you guys to realize like what it is and why it's important. So anchor text, it's the actual text that the linking page uses to talk about your content or website. So if you see this little rectangle down here, you can see the actual link. And then to the right of it is the anchor text. John Y's custom design belts is what's explaining johnY.com. But I have a better example for you coming up here. So anchor text in action. Let's say a blogger wrote about your salon and they said something like, I truly think Evergreen is Portland's best organic salon. So this right here is a link, and it's Portland's best organic salon is the anchor text, and it goes to Evergreen Salon in Portland. And apparently it's going to take a really long time to take us there, but it opened in another window. But yeah, it took us to Evergreen Salon, which I showed off last week during Salon Website 101. So that's all an anchor text is. Nothing complicated, but it does tell Google what they're going to, because sometimes I can't just tell by the URL. Okay, so I wanted to share with you some of my favorite local link building strategies. So I don't think any of us are striving for the Huffington Post mentions, but if you do get it, good for you. I'm going to teach you some of my favorite ways to get those local mentions that I talked about. So this one I actually have done for Simply Organic Beauty customers in the past, and that's basically brokering a deal with a local blogger. So you basically offer them free hair services for them to write an authentic write-up and review about your business. It's super simple. Most bloggers are usually down to get their hair done for free. And as long as they're linking to you and showing how amazing their experience is, it's a win-win situation. It doesn't cost much money. And if they're a really good blogger and they have clout, they're probably keeping an email list and they're going to share their experience with all their readers too. So that's just a fringe benefit, honestly. But it does go a long way for helping your website get noticed. So here's another one of my hacks for getting local link backs. So sponsor a local event or meetup. And my favorite way how to find these is through meetup.com. And I am going to show you that website, even though it may take me a second to get to it. So meetup.com is a global directory of all sorts of meetups from around all sorts of local communities. So I went ahead and suggested some for, why do you go forward? Anyway, suggested 4 topics for you guys to take a look at sponsoring. Health and wellness, female-owned businesses, vegans, yoga. This is all for our Simply Organic Beauty tribe. But most of the time, a sponsorship's not always money. It could be sponsoring a lunch. And I wouldn't really look at this as a way like, oh, I'm just going to be promoting myself. How weird. No, this is just a way to connect with your community and with people that are of like mind. So I'm going to show you real quick meetup.com. Oh, look at that. So pretty straightforward, right? What do you love? Pasta. I love pasta. So there's all sorts of awesome things and Florida Voices for Animals. I'm sure there's something to do with yoga or wellness or women's health. All of these topics are extremely pertinent to salons and especially organic salons. So we'll just type in for fun, women's health. Some will have more members than others, but oh, this one needs an organizer. But basically, once you find someone that has a pop-in community, you would want to reach out to their organizer. So, and you'll see here, it says like, what are we about? What is the Young Healthy Women of St. Pete? Consciousness, support, alternative medicine, fitness, holistic health, healthy living. All people that would be very interested in your holistic beauty products. So looks like Colleen here is the organizer, and it's super simple. You need an account to message them, but very easy. Just hit contact, reach out, let them know that you maybe would like to sponsor a lunch, and just talk to them about the awesome things you do and network with your community. So honestly, that's one of my favorite ways to do it because of this. So you must be thinking, great, that's networking. What does that have to do with my website? So meetup.com, because I told you it is a global directory, has a lot of authority for Google. And I'm sure if you ask the organizer too, what they're going to do is they're going to link to your website once they have the event planned. You guys are going to have to come up with a date, obviously, to sponsor said event. But if you have your website kind of ready to go, that's a really nice backlink to have from meetup.com. And it stays there forever. Eventually it will be a past event, but the link should stay there forever. So those are just 2 of my hacks. So look how happy they are to be at a locally sponsored meetup. Okay. So now that we're done with link signals, we're going to move on to on-page signals. So before I break into this, I will say there's a lot of on-page signals. And I could probably spend the next 4 hours talking to you about on-page signals, but I don't want to overwhelm you. So I narrowed it down to the 4 that are the most important for local SEO. And what on-page signals means is your website. You are in control of all this stuff. So we were talking about link building before, which is when websites are linking to you. This is all things that you need to do on your website that Google likes and Google will reward you for with nice rankings. So let's just break into those 4 topics really quickly. I can tell you why it's important. So on-page SEO. So why I think this is important for local businesses is because you can really find your exact target customer if you're doing it right. So you saw me typing in Tampa Salons earlier. I was just getting Tampa Salons. I obviously wasn't looking for anything other in particular than salon plus my location. But if you're one of our Holistic Hair Tribe peeps and you offer a variety of services or our spa, and maybe you want to start focusing on people that have hair loss or extensions or wedding, this is a really unique opportunity with on-page SEO and things like blogging to get local people in your community going to you for these specialized things. So more on that in a second. But I think it's very important for having you find that exact customer. Google really loves a well-optimized website. So Google's reputation rides on the website results it serves up. If they serve up crappy websites, then people don't like Google, and then Google's not happy. So if you can play within Google's rules and make them look good, then they'll let you look good and they'll let you rank. So we're going to show you what that looks like with these top 4 things to do for your on-page SEO. So 4 tips for great on-page local SEO. So we're talking about NAP here again. So remember, this is going to be an unstructured listing because it's not on a directory, right? So NAP, salon name, address, and phone number. If you were on last week, you were hearing me geek out about all of our awesome clients' websites. And I said one of my favorite features was salon name, address, and phone number. And this is why, because Google likes it. Because now they can make a connection of your website and your address. And that connection is also done through Google Business when you verify your website, which we're going to get to a little later. So you were verifying your business before in the first part of this presentation. Later, we're going to verify our website and link them all together. So number 2, leveraging short URLs. This is not a real URL. I just kind of made an example out there. But so yoursalon.com/Tampa-organic salon. So obviously the 3 keywords that I'm trying to target here are Tampa-organic-salon. Again, we're talking about finding that target customer. I want someone who's looking for an organic salon, which for me, if I had one, it would probably be in my name also. But you could really do something special with a page that's all for someone looking for organic products. So keeping that in mind. So using specific keywords like that all across your website. So a little bit of technical jargon here, but it is what they're called. So using those things like Tampa's Organic Salon and terms that are similar in your header tags, image tags, meta description, and page titles. So I can show you very quickly what some of those things are. So we're not completely lost. It's just a lot of technical stuff, and I don't want to scare you guys away. So let me just type in Tampa Salon again. All right. So we have Tampa Salons. As you can see right away, when I type in Tampa Salons, it completely comes up in this meta description. So Tribeca Salons, they have Tampa Salon in their page title right here. See Tampa Hair Salon. And in their meta description. This is a meta description down here. And you may be asking, well, where do I change that? Where do I change my page title, my meta description, my tags? It's all going to depend on your website platform. If you're using WordPress, there's a lot of plugins for that. If you're using Squarespace, I think it's actually built right into the platform. So there's not a straight shot answer for that on how you change your meta descriptions on your pages and your titles. It depends on the platform you're using. If you have any questions about that, feel free to put them in the question box. I will send it out in the FAQ in 24 hours. So again, this is just a place to use important keywords. Your location, type of salon, maybe a specific service. And remember, you can have multiple pages as well. Some salons just do like a straight home page and it has all their information. It looks great, but I think when you're kind of a specialized salon, maybe an organic salon, you can kind of dig a little deeper into some of your services and have specific pages all about those services. And then that's when you're going to focus on those different keywords, putting them in your short URLs, meta description, and page titles. But what you don't want to do, I would say, is make it overly stuffed with the same keyword and where it almost doesn't sound natural. I said first that I optimize for Google. I meant that over other search engines. But at the end of the day, you're still writing for humans. So if I'm writing Tampa Hair Salon all over the place and it just doesn't sound natural, Google actually does punish over keyword stuffing. And I'm just going to show you guys everything. So don't worry about it. So number 4, website load speed. The quicker, the better. So this is just another on-page measurement that Google will do to reward you or punish you if your site's too slow. Again, that looks bad on Google, so they're not going to rank you as high. So these are just my top 4 that I wanted you to focus on today. And then we'll move into one of our final signals, which is behavior signals. So these kind of go with on-page signals. It's the overall user experience of your website. How are users interacting with you in your website? Did they click on your title, the page title that I just showed you in the rankings? Did they hit call on your Google Business card? How many pages did they view when they were on your website? How long did they stay for? These are all behavior-based metrics that Google does measure, and it does have an influence on your rankings. Do you have reviews? Did they buy anything? Some salons have e-commerce set up through their websites so they can actually buy something, or gift cards, which was one of my money-making features from last week to have on your salon website, in case you needed a reminder. So you may be asking yourself, oh man, these behavior signals, how do I control these? How do I even know what they are? That's a great question. Google Analytics is your friend. It's another free service from Google, and it shows you all of those behavioral metrics that I just spoke about. Again, it's going to matter on your platform how you install this on your website. Sometimes it's point and click. If it's Squarespace, if it's WordPress, it's pretty simple as well. It can be done through a plugin. You also do it through Google Business, and that's when you actually verify your website. So I was talking about earlier how you registered your business with Google. Then once you verify your website, you can actually do that through Google Analytics, and you're going to be rewarded for rankings as well. I know we just all use different platforms, so I wish I could show you a really quick example. But again, if you have questions, I can send you a really quick how-to no matter what platform you're using.
And that's free.
And it's free. Yep, it's free. Google Analytics is free. And it's honestly the best way to measure how your website is doing. You'll know right away if you're on the first page of Google rather than the second page. And Google Analytics is really going to be your best friend. And I know as creatives, we're like, great, graphs, spreadsheets, line graphs, can't wait to not look at that. But it is important. So even if you just checked your Google Analytics once a week, once a month would even be great, just to make sure nothing catastrophic is happening, like you have a huge traffic chip off and you have no idea where it came from. Google Analytics is your friend. So the final measurement of how Google is going to rank your website is review signals. So these are exactly what you think they are. Nothing technical, the reviews. So let's just go through some fun facts real quick about reviews. 84% of people trust online reviews, and 90% of consumers are looking up reviews weekly. I probably didn't have to tell you guys that. I'm sure you yourselves look up reviews for products and businesses all day long. 74% of consumers claim reviews make them trust local businesses more. Very important because, again, we're talking about local businesses here. So keeping that in mind. And the average consumer consults 11 online reviews before making a decision. That's a lot of reviews. So you want to make sure that you're constantly cultivating these reviews, and we'll get to that in just a second here. So, and just so you can have a little sigh of relief, 30% of consumers assume online reviews are fake if there are no negative reviews. So if you get a negative review, which everyone does because consumers are 3 times more likely to give you a negative review if they had a bad experience than if they had a good experience. So next time you get a negative review, don't fret, it's just making you look authentic. But if you start to get too many of them, then we may need to look at that a little further. So the review factors. So what about reviews, good or bad, makes Google rank you more? So one is quantity, how many? Remember that fun fact that their consumers consult 11 reviews before making a decision. So obviously the more you have, the merrier, and across different platforms. Velocity. So this is all about speed in which these reviews come in. So the industry standard is to have a steady flow of reviews, because what does it look like if you get a huge flux of reviews out of nowhere? They look fake. And Google looks at that as if you're trying to game the review system, and you could be punished if all of a sudden you just had a ton of reviews. Now, if you're just a new business, I'm sure that's not shocking then. But if you just had your Google business for 5 years and all of a sudden you got 50 reviews, it may look a little suspicious in Google's mind. So another factor is the quality of the reviews. Obviously, if you have a better reviewed business, Google's going to favor that more than referring people to a poorly reviewed business. So always try to cultivate good reviews. And then variety. So this goes back to those authenticity type metrics. If all of a sudden you just have all 5-star reviews, but no one's having any comments, or all the comments are like, good, great, loved it, had fun, would recommend. Google's actually looking for a little more variety in your comments and in your reviews. For some reason, must have been someone who tried to game Google with a bunch of really similar sounding reviews, because they don't like that. So sorry, just real quick, here's a review site checklist. These are the 5 main review sites that you should be checking, I would say weekly, honestly. Google, Yelp, Foursquare, Facebook, and Bing Places for Business. These are probably the 5 most common review sites. Yeah, and then Rebecca had one more thing to add to that as well.
So stepping back into that review factor, I've seen a lot of salon websites have what we call the reviews, and it's other stylists obviously in the same salon reviewing one another. Obviously, we need to keep that variety going. Some creative factors or ideas around keeping that steady, rate or the speed rate coming in. So let's say you have a salon coordinator, making sure that she is asking them or reminding them, as well as you asking for that good review. So keeping that as a steady pace, something that you guys always do, or have your salon coordinator prompting them as well. Maybe having a little sign on the desk, don't forget to rate us on Google, Yelp, Foursquare, and so forth. Maybe take the picture of that client for them, send it to them in a text, and once again have a call to action so that you're requesting another review, so that you start to rack these up and they keep the actual speed rate that they're coming in and the quality of them up, as well as keeping that variety going, making sure they name you in them rather than saying, yep, great place, recommend, so giving it your all and actually asking for these reviews and helping them along the way. So if you've got a client that you took a picture of their hair, you text it to them and asked them or reminded them to post it on their Facebook with a good review, that also reaches all of their friends. So that's a great way to build some business. But we're going to talk more about that in Love and Loyalty in one of our following summer school classes.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're about to, good timing, Rebecca, because we're about to break right into review management, best practices. And Rebecca just touched on those a little bit, but I know she has a lot more to share with you. So she was just talking about cultivating real and authentic reviews. So again, whoever's checking your clients out at the desk, getting them to review through other incentives, which I'm going to cover here really quickly. So just always staying top of the mind, because remember I told you earlier that people are 3 times more likely to review you if they had a bad review rather than if they had a good review. So when people are happy and loving their hair in your chair, like, may not be your favorite thing, but it's a good time to get them to review. And who knows, maybe you give them a free sample or something if they review. There's always ways to incentivize these things. One of my favorite tactics, and I don't really like giving too much discounts for reviews, but let's say you just had a really negative review and you don't have a lot of reviews to begin with, and it really impacted your score. I actually do like giving discounts for reviews in that way. And it's super easy. It's just, show me you reviewed your business and I take, 15% off your service, 10%, totally up to you. Maybe again, a free product, free sample. Because what's this going to do is you're going to kind of drown out that bad review and it's not going to be on your mind so much. Again, I'm not a huge person of giving discounts for reviews, but if you're trying to recover from just a bad review, I think it's a good thing to implement temporarily until you get your reviews back up. And it's just a quick way to generate a bunch of reviews. So Um, I think Rebecca wanted to chime in here about responding to reviews, both good and bad, because Google specifically says respond to your reviews. And I know from just being human beings, we're going to respond to people, but Google from a technical side says you should as well. I'm going to let Rebecca tell you a little more about that.
So seeing all the stars on our forum today, I'm sure that no one has ever had an off day, ever did crummy hair. However, it could happen where it just was simply about your personality they didn't like, and you've got that one that's going to go on and give you a bad review. So it happens to all of us, but it's all in the way you're responding to that review, or how you respond to a good review. Did you thank them for their business? Did you have another call to action inviting them back, or mentioning another treatment that they might want on their next visit, and what you can do for them to build this relationship? Now, if it's a bad review, I've seen horrible responses on a lot of websites to this, and it's all in the way you are responding to them, maybe inviting them back in to make things right. Maybe I can have an opportunity to have you back, revisit our salon again, like to offer you an additional treatment. Let me look at your hair, see if there's anything I could change about it to make you happy, because our guest experience here at blah 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 spa is all that we are about, and we care about you. So showing that you really care about both good and bad reviews. So I know that when I'm buying something, especially let's say on Amazon, I look at 11 reviews, and it's all even if they get bad reviews, I'm expecting that. There's a lot of people that just like to give bad reviews as well, but it's all in about how that company reacted to it. And if I thought it was a professional reaction, then I kind of can let that one go, and I go on to the next good review, and that would probably have me purchase that item as well. So looking at the way that you respond and keeping your cool, because we are stylists, we are in a creative world, and keeping client relationship building is, how you respond to this. So there you go.
Yeah, absolutely. I kind of look at it like this, right? Speak to these people on both good and bad reviews, how you would speak to them in your own salon. Like if you were having a conversation in your own salon with this customer who was giving you a hard time, how would you respond? But instead of your whole salon watching, it's more like thousands of people are watching you have this conversation. So just keeping that in mind. And I think Rebecca made some really good suggestions on how you can remedy the situation while still remaining professional. Asking them to come in, is there anything I can do to help? Try to take some of that anger that's online and take it offline, and just hopefully service them and get a chance to make it right. So, like Rebecca said, sometimes there's just, some people just don't, they just like to give bad reviews, and that's just how it goes. And you can be Vidal Sassoon or the best hairdresser in the world, but sometimes you just get an off one of those days, and there's maybe nothing that you could have done to be better. So this industry, I notice that people are so very hard on themselves as artists. And I mean, like Rebecca said, it's like sometimes we have off days and we don't do hair the way we would like, but you can't let one review or one bad color correction that didn't go your way define you. So there are ways to bounce back from bad reviews. Like I said, offering a short discount to get some good reviews in, or getting a decal for your window, or putting it on your chalkboard. I've seen salons do some really cute things to kind of cultivate and curate authentic reviews. And at the end of the day, if your customers are loving what you do and all they needed was a quick reminder to give you a good review, then it's going to definitely drown out all of the bad ones, which I doubt there's that many. So that just brings us back to the final of maintaining and upholding your professionalism. Again, pretend like you're having that conversation in front of thousands of people in your salon, and I promise most of us, our reactions are going to be different. So I'm going to leave you with this quote: your customers don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And again, you're showing that through your response and your reviews, whether it's gratitude for the lovely thing they said to you, or just trying to be professional and remedying a bad review. Again, just showing how much you care just goes a long way. So there's me giving Rebecca a great review on my beautiful hair. Did you guys see that Facebook Live demo we did of it? Still looks good, right? So, sure. So just to give you next week preview of what's happening. We're going to be doing Salons Go Social. Again, it's not just salons, but stylists. And I know this is one of everyone's favorite topics. So I've got a lot of fun things to share with you, including a really fun Facebook ad formula and content calendars and a whole bunch of strategies and methods from my team that's worked over the years. So really excited to share that with you next week. But that's the end of today's webinar. So thanks for joining us. Please leave your questions and comments below. I see there is a decent amount of questions this week, and Rebecca has some of them for me. I can just try to answer those now. But again, this is going to be replayed for people out on YouTube. So if this is now a YouTube video and not live, feel free to subscribe to our YouTube channel. All of our salon business trainings go up there, the ones that are free. So, and at this rate, that's all of them because we just love giving out free information. So let's run through some of these questions. Once you register your business with Google Business, is it easy to change your address if you change locations? Or as a booth runner, I change salons. That's a good question. See, the thing is, as a booth runner, you're probably not going to be able to register through Google Business because you do have to have a physical address location. They're actually pretty strict about that. So, or I just would have went through and showed you guys how to do it, but I don't have a physical address that I can attribute a salon to. So, but as a booth runner, I really, if you don't have a personal website that you can do some of these things through, I would definitely look to StyleSeat. That'll be a good place for you to keep all of your things aligned. But of course, I will always recommend having a website. So even if you're not going to be in those local business rankings, those what I call that local pack at the top, your website, if it's optimized through those on-page factors that I showed you, can still rank in the top 10, and it's 10 results per page. So even though you may not be in that local business ranking with an address for them to hit directions to, your website can still rank, and you can still rank as a stylist. If you're a solo suite person, then you have your solo suite and suite number, very important to add onto Google Business. So is Manta on your list of structured local citations? What does not locked mean? I feel like it is hoaxy. Yeah, great question. I believe I feel like Manta was on the top 50 list, and it may have been on the top 10 salon list as well. But I think it is important to not do some of the spammy local business directories. And I mean by spammy, it's kind of hard. I could have showed you in the slide some examples of ones that don't look so good. Like when I was looking for Tampa Bay business directories, I found a bunch where I was looking for businesses and there was no results for any of them. But there was conveniently a place for you to submit your business and no doubt your email. Well, you'll be getting a bunch of spam emails. So I feel like those are easy to identify. But again, I would just go off the list that you're going to get from us in 24 hours of the top 50, but specifically those top 10 directories. So I have more questions here. How do you find local bloggers? Well, there's a lot of blogger networks out there that you can search by location. I think like there's actually one called BlogHer, BlogHer.com. I needed to go back to that site. I haven't been in a while, but you could also just type in Google randomly too, right? Tampa blogger, Atlanta blogger. Search hashtags on Instagram, like I'm trying to think, like a Tampa blogger hashtag, and then you could find bloggers that way that are kind of more relative and local. A good Google search should return a handful for you. Like I said, when I just started at Simply Organic so long ago, I used to broker that between our salons and bloggers all the time. And I was able to I feel like at the time I just did it through Google. I was able to find organic minded bloggers that were extremely down to get their hair done for free and write about their experience. So just a simple Google search. And I bet you it's even easier these days to broker those type of relationships. How will I get the hand sheets that are covered in the webinar? You're going to be getting an email with a link to this training as well as the FAQ sheet. So check your email in about 24 hours. I'm a booth runner and the owner is not interested in growing our business, how would you recommend I grow my own? That's a great question as well. I think this goes back to having a personal website and at the very least, Instagram or a Facebook page, or your own personal stylist Facebook page where you're cultivating some of these clients and your own brand that way. So again, having your own website or at the very least your own social media channels that are not branded for your salon. I mean, I know some salons are kind of strict about you have to say you work at that salon if you're commissioned, but that's just something I think you usually put in your bio. And as you move along, and if you go to a different place or decide to go solo or whatever your path may take you, it's easily removed. So again, I'm a big fan of having personal websites and personal Instagram pages if you're not an established business owner or have an established brand. Yep, I got that same question. Do you think it's good to do as a booth rental stylist with a personal website? I do, because I think you can still rank for your local city instead of salon, stylist, and then maybe you're having instead of a business number, your personal number there. And then if you were on our webinar from last week, you'll notice online booking was one of my top suggestions for an online feature. And if you have that on your personal website, again, every salon that has either booth owners or commission-based stylists are different, but you could be growing your following there, and then people are booking appointments with you. Again, I don't know what system every salon is on, but if they let you have your own booking system through StyleSeat or Booksy or whatever you're using, that'll be a good way to do that. How do you remove an old salon name when you buy it and put yours in? We can't seem to get the old salon removed from our address. Their salon always pops up. How can that stop? I can't see who that question was attributed to, but I can send you an article, a really good article on that. And it takes you step by step how to edit and change. I think I know what you're talking about, but I hope you have claimed that Google business as your own. Because if you didn't claim that business, then that's going to be a little more difficult to get back in your hands. But no doubt it can be done. And I can send you a couple links on that. So every effort will be made. Oh, that is not a question. That is a claim. All right. What else do I have?
Questions are coming in right now.
I love questions. Rebecca, do you want to read these questions to me? I can't see them. All right. Oh, okay.
Okay. We answered that one.
Okay.
Once you register your business with Google Business, is it easy to change your address if you change locations? Or as a booth owner, I change salons. That's what you just answered, isn't it?
Yes, I did. There's a really good question, actually. I just popped up from Maureen. Is there any way review can be removed from Google if it is not relevant to your salon services or customer experience, i.e. a disgruntled former employee or friend of? That's a good one. I'm sure you just know by their own writing who it was, but that's going to be tough to prove to Google, and they're a little better than Yelp. But I would have to do a little research on that because my gut tells me no, unfortunately. Unless you can straight up prove that it's not about your business, they're complaining about some air conditioning company or something, then that would be a lot easier. But if it's unfortunately a false review, I haven't seen many people have luck with removing that. But I can definitely do some research for you, Maureen, and get you some resources to look at least. I do have friends that work at Google through my startup connections, and maybe they know something I don't. So I will look into that for you.
How do I put hours of operation in if they change daily?
Okay, good question. How do I put hours of operation in if they change daily? My question to you is, do they change daily and weekly and monthly, or is it just on Mondays, it's different than how it is on Tuesdays, and that's how it is every week and every month? You can still go in and edit your hours. Once you have your Google business, my Google business up and running, you can go in and edit your hours at any time. I would be wary not to change them too much because I don't know how long it takes Google to read that update. So it may, if you're just like, oh, I just want to go home early, today. I'm going to change my hours on Google so people know I'm closed. I'm not 100% sure how quickly Google responds to all of that. So I would keep that in mind. But if it's just you have varying hours day to day, that's not a problem. That can be changed in your Google business.
So where is or how do I create a specific anchor text link to my website?
So and that anchor text example was more so when someone's linking to your website from another one, like a blogger. But there actually are anchor texts within your own website that you can link to certain pages that are relative. Like I said, if maybe you want to link to organic scalp treatments and you have a whole page to that dedicated on your site, it's something I could really show you really quickly, but you're basically that little piece of code. Let me see if I can actually go back to, oops, we're not done yet. Fun has just begun. I'm going to go back to that slide and show you the HTML, like the code of what that link looks like. I run through it right. And then I'll kind of show you how you can do that on your website. Okay, so anchor text, back to this again. So do you see this little bit of code? So this is HTML. And if your platform that you're working on doesn't give you an option to have anchor text, which most of them do, you can do it with the HTML code like this. So if it's your own website that you're linking to internally, then you have to put that URL right here, and then the anchor text there. So, and then let's go back to my organic scalp treatments. So what if it's rebeccasalon.com/organic scalp treatments is the URL. My anchor text is going to be organic scalp treatments right here. And that's what people are going to see. And that's what people are going to see. And it's probably going to more than likely be underlined in a link like this. So instead of seeing that URL of Rebecca's Salon, it's going to say organic salon treatments right here. All right. Do I have another question, Rebecca?
You do. You have. I've been talking to marketing360.com. Any thoughts on them?
Marketing360.com. Any thoughts on them? I've never heard of them. I can look up their site for you real quick, but let's figure out who that is, and I can send them a private email later and give them my thoughts, because it sounds like a marketing agency, correct?
Mm-hmm. And it also sounds like this one could be more from last week, where they're looking for recommendations for affordable ways to develop a website. They have a free one through Weebly, and I fear it may not appear professional enough.
Yeah, that's very possible. And I don't know, this isn't necessarily always Weebly, but I don't really recommend even those standalone sites that come with maybe your salon management software. They're just not optimized for Google, and they're kind of hard to make work in your favor. I've never seen one look good. My favorite actually for stylists and salons that's super easy to maintain yourselves is Squarespace. So if I could rank them in terms of ease of use and affordability, I put Squarespace as my number one, then Wix as number two, and WordPress as number three. However, I will say this, if you're a little tech savvy and you don't mind a challenge, I do like WordPress. It does have the most functionality. Has a lot of SEO capabilities built in. It's a very good platform, but it can be a little intimidating if you've never tackled a website before. So if you've never tackled a website before and you just want something a little better than what Weebly can offer or what your salon management software can offer, Squarespace or Wix would be your best bet. I really do like Squarespace, though. I've been working with a salon on their website and working on the Squarespace backend. It's very easy to edit those meta descriptions that I was talking about earlier and adding pages with short URLs. Super easy to get a domain, which is the name of your website, through Squarespace. So again, I think Squarespace is your best bet there. And I believe they even have templates for salons. So that would be nice if you could just buy a $30 template and be done with it and plug in your pictures. So
can we use our salon's physical address as a booth renter for our personal website?
Absolutely. The question was, can you use your salon's physical address on your personal website? Absolutely. If that's where you are and at the time, then absolutely. A personal website's much more easily changed, I believe. So, and plus, you're more than likely your salon business is already registered at that address. So you couldn't create Rebecca the stylist at the same address. There'd be a conflict there.
I use hirefrederick.com for filling empty slots, and they have client give feedback. Can I use those reviews on my website? I'm guessing you would recommend asking permission, though. Yes?
Yes. So the question was this lovely lady or man, I'm not sure who it is, that asked this question, said they use Hire Fredericks as a way to get in clients, and there's reviews on that website, and she's wondering if she can use it for her website. She said they would probably just want to get permission, correct? And I would, if it's someone that you don't know, you don't exactly remember who it was, if it's already public and listed, I don't really know if you have to ask permission if they've already submitted it voluntarily. It'd be one thing if they had a picture of themselves attached to it, then I would say yes, get permission. But if it's a review that's out in the open that someone's already submitted and you just want to put it on your website, I would say just go for it. I wouldn't ask permission. It's an authentic review you got elsewhere and you're just putting it on your site. So if you remember last week during Salon Website 101, I'm a big fan of having reviews and testimonials right on your website because, well, not only does this increase the amount of times people are going to call you and book with you, it keeps them from leaving your website. Again, remember that stat, 11 reviews people are going to look at before they take an action. So if you can at least cut out some of that on your own site, then I think you're in good shape. Like I said, there's going to be a random cat video that pops up and distracts them if they try to go off site and look at different reviews. So having them on your website, big plus.
I currently have a Google Sites free website. Should I switch?
So the question was, I currently have a Google Sites free website. Should I switch? It's from Google.
It says Google Sites free website.
Oh, I would have to take a look at it for you. And maybe Tracy's our moderator in the box here. If you could ask her to send her URL to me, then I could make a better judgment on that. From Tanya. Oh, hi Tanya. Yeah, Tanya. Okay, I'm sure I can easily find your website myself, and I'll personally respond to you. Let me make a note. If it's through Google, I definitely didn't want to write it off right away because usually it's pretty well integrated into all their free offerings like analytics and all the things we were talking about earlier today. So
what was the site they use? Hirefrederick?
hirefrederick.com. HIREFREDERICK.com.
So that one's from Johnny Brown.
And that was his question. That was Johnny's question. Yeah, Johnny. So that's what it is. Hirefrederick.com. Feel free to message Tracy, Rebecca, or I if that wasn't clear for some reason. Are there any other questions? My friends, I'm an open book. Ask me anything. If it was about salon websites last week or local SEO this week, feel free. It's your open session to get basically free coaching. So all right. Awesome. Well, looks like I answered all your questions. As you can hear, my voice is about shot. But I really appreciate you guys hanging in there with me and my awesome voice. So again, I'm just going to finish off here. And for the record, I am going to do these open Q&As after every single session. So looking ahead to our curriculum, if there's some questions that you think about throughout the day that's coming up and you want to ask them during our free coaching sessions, then I highly recommend doing that because it's a free-for-all. Anyone can ask me anything during these Q&A sessions. Well, not anything, but all right. So again, next week is Salons Go Social. Hope you can join us again. Thank you so much. Really, really excited to share some cool things next week. So again, if you want to contact me directly, a lot of us are friends on Facebook, or you can comment in the question box below, and I will personally give you an answer to your question if you don't want to ask it publicly. So thank you for joining us, everyone, and I hope you have an awesome rest of your week, and see you next week. Bye. Oh, I'm sorry, Rebecca, you can say goodbye too.
Well, thanks everybody for joining. Love seeing my education team on here. Feel free to contact me as well if you have any side questions from salon business point of view. And of course, I'll give you the personal scoop that I have. And then looking forward to getting social with you guys next week. So don't forget, get registered. We'll see you next Monday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Have a colorful day.